Welcome to Can't Stop, Won't Stop Real Talk with Connor Wesley. This is episode 3. There's been a 3-part episode to introduce who I am, where I'm from, and where I'm going. I'm the owner of CW Coaching, and I help people transform their lives. Sat across from me is my partner and also my business partner. Leanne is massively involved in helping CW Coaching scale as a business. She's also massively involved in helping me write my autobiography. Leanne's got the questions and I've got the answers. So let's get straight into it.
So going back onto last episode, we touched into your lowest point. Was there a moment in that time where you just thought your mind just shifted and you just thought enough's enough?
I think it was just accumulation and riding it out until that stung no more. It wasn't just like a light bulb moment where I thought, right, boom, and walk up. It was just through suffering the pain until I didn't feel it anymore. A day went by where you didn't think about this person or feel like you felt it, and then a couple of days went by, and then before you know it, that sting starts getting less stingy. So it wasn't like a certain moment. I wish there was. I wish it was just a thing that I could have turned off. But I feel like sometimes you just have to keep weathering that storm out until brighter days come. And
Yeah.
tough times don't last, but tough people do. I can remember being in a position where I didn't think it was ever going to end, but through my lowest point, it wasn't like a specific day, it was just accumulation of days and finally getting to a point where it doesn't hurt anymore.
Yeah.
So it just like weared off over time gradually. But it wasn't like weeks, it were months in this specific circumstance that we're talking about. So no, they weren't like an exact day or a week, it was just over time. That's why I always say, if people are going through a tough time, then there is things that you can do to shorten that time, and there's things that you can do to help you move through that time. But sometimes you just have to keep riding forward, keep grinding, put your head down, and just understand that brighter days are upon you. As long as you believe it, want it enough, and work towards it, and be
Yeah.
positive and all. A lot of what happens and comes to reality can be the way you think about things. If you're thinking negative things will happen.
Yeah.
And I've been stuck in that rut saying, it's all me, it's all this, I always do this. But then you attract more of that. And I know it's hard sometimes being in that tough point, but you also have to try and think positive. I am a firm believer on like law of attraction, kinetic energy. Not to some extremes what people do. I can't believe that you can think you're sent to be thin and stuff like that.
Oh
But
yeah.
I do think if you think positive, positive things can happen. If you're thinking negative constantly, then negative things will happen.
Yeah.
If you're playing the victim mindset, oh, it's always me, it's always this, it's always that, then you will find you will attract a lot more shit.
Yeah.
If you just accept what it is, what's happened, think, right, these are my cards, let's get on with it and fucking crack on. Things can change. And a lot of time it's just down to mindset. So answer to your question, they won't like a specific moment. It was just accumulation of days and weeks of constantly riding forward until that sting stopped stinging.
Yeah. Next question. When you finally committed this time around, because obviously you failed a few
Multiple
times,
times,
didn't
yeah,
you?
a
Yeah.
lot of times.
What was it about your mindset that were different to any other time that you tried before?
Um, I feel like I always say every failure is one step closer to succeeding. Should you be somebody who actually realizes when you failed
Yeah.
and actually wants to change. So this time round, after failing multiple times and suffering, what I always revert back to in my content, I realise sometimes when I've been on the road to transformation, or I've got in phenomenal shape, and I started thinking, would I rather be fat and happy?
Yeah.
One, I was thinking that because I was putting myself on unsustainable plans, thinking that I had to eat a lot less than what you actually do. And two, because I didn't see it as like a sustainable thing because the plans were so unreal, like not sustainable. But this time round, I've done it that many times, and it took me a few times to make me realise that when you feel like you're suffering and missing out when you're on road to transformation, and you're resisting all these nights out and these takeaways, you can sometimes feel like you're missing out, and you can question whether or not it's actually worth it or not if you're on such an unsustainable plan. But then I always realise when I get back to my old habits and I put all my weight back on, and I start looking down at myself and I can see like my cone tits and I'm feeling uncomfortable and I don't want to take my top off in summer. I don't feel comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
I hate my reflection. My face goes fat. I feel ugly. I feel shit constantly. You soon realise that all them times when you transformed and you were in good shape and you were questioning whether or not that it were all worth it. Of course it is, because if I could fucking click my fingers and go back there now, I'd fucking understand that I want never suffering. You're just going through a tough time resisting these temptations. So this time round, I told myself, it's the last time I'm ever going to try. Whether or not it would have been, I don't know. We'll see. Who knows? But I told myself, I gave myself the option to try again. And if I fail this time round, I'm never trying again. I probably would have tried again, but that's the pressure I put on myself. That's my own pressure that I put on myself. That if I fail this time round, then I'm not going to try again, because I am sick to death of getting in phenomenal shape just to fall back off again. And
You
feel,
showed me a side-by-side picture, didn't you? One where you were at your heaviest
Yeah.
and really unhealthy.
yeah,
And then one when you were at your skinniest, but you were really unhealthy then.
yeah,
So it
yeah.
weren't a transformation, were
No,
it?
not the first time round, because like I said, I went from 17 stone to 12 stone. So I lost
Yeah.
5 stone. Like I said, I were only eating about 1,200 calories
Mm.
and I was massively overtraining. I couldn't sleep, my face was dawned in, and people were asking family members see if I were actually all right, like, is your Connor all right?
Yeah.
Not thinking that I deliberately meant to do it.
Mm.
When people said it to me, I thought, I'm fine, I felt best. I thought I felt best, but then I started realising when I was making myself sick after eating food and stuff,
Mm.
and then feeling really bad after I did eat or have a treat, or getting to a point where I were absolutely binge eating. Like, and I mean, if people would have seen me eating, it were unhealthy.
Yeah.
I would have been embarrassed for somebody to see what I'd eat. Like, I'm talking packs and packs of biscuits with takeaways and absolutely out I could get my hands on.
Wow.
To a point where I was nearly feeling sick because I'd starved myself for 5-6 weeks without any takeaways or without any decent amount of food.
Yeah.
I'd just get to a point where I just think, oh, I couldn't do this anymore, and then binge. We don't have to be like that. You can make it sustainable, not unattainable, and that's what I've done this time round. And that's what I incorporate with my with my clients' plans. I make them realise that it isn't all doom and gloom. You can be on a plan and see it as a lifestyle. I eat the same things. I'm not expecting everybody to be as regimental and as disciplined as I am, but I've got bigger goals. But even lifestyle clients,
Yeah.
you can have that 80-20 and you can still go out and have a drink occasionally and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You'll not get as good a results as if you would if you stuck to the plan 100%, but you've got to find that happy medium. You've got to find what makes you happy as an individual. And what's good for one person isn't necessarily good for another person. So
Yeah.
everybody's got to find that sweet spot where they're not in too much of a calorie deficit, where it becomes unsustainable and the diet fatigue goes through the roof. Diet fatigue is where you're constantly thinking like about food.
Yeah.
I used to do that. It'd like a good past fucking takeaways and it was like a rinse of Sahara Desert with like mirages, and it'd just be like, because I was starving. You know, like put myself on unsustainable plans. But if you eat enough and eat enough protein, prioritise protein, the most satiating macronutrient, what's going to keep you fuller for longer. Don't get me wrong, the mindset and the temptations are always there to want to eat, but a lot of time now people don't even eat because they're necessarily hungry. It's because they crave shit and that things just taste fucking so nice now. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we eat because we're bored, because it's what you do when you watch a film, innit? You obviously eat sweets and treats when you watch a film, or because you're stressed, or weather's shit, or it's sunny, so you have barbecues, and everything's related back to food. But sometimes you just need to develop new relationships with food, and not
Yeah.
everything has to taste like. Don't get me wrong, it's nice if it tastes nice, but just create a different relationship with food. I used to be somebody who comfort like eat if things were going shit or I was stressed. I'd go and get loads of sweets and
Yeah.
takeaways and stuff for that instant consumer reward, that instant satisfaction.
Yeah.
But like I say, having too many of them just make you feel shit further on down the line. So it's all about rewiring these new pathways. And I'm a firm believer, like a lot of people on a transformation, I always call it, this is my own like theory on it. You get stuck in a no man's land. And in that no man's land, you're torn between becoming the new you and getting pulled back to the old you.
Yeah.
And your mindset will find any opportunity it can to try and pull you back there. Even though it knows it's not good for you there, it'll try and pull you back to a place where it's bad because it's familiar there. Your mind don't like change. It don't like rewiring these new pathways. So you just have to have standoffs with your mind.
Yeah.
And force it. Show your mind who's boss. It sounds a bit psychotic that you're having these arguments with this thing in your head, but you're not that thing in your head.
No.
And if you took it out, like I've said before, and you put that in another human body, you'd stay well away from it. You'd be like, I'm not fucking knocking about him. You'd slag it off to fuck. You'd be like, it's very indecisive cunt. It's telling me on a night time to get up and go to gym in the morning. Telling me to stay in bed. Telling me on Monday to start plan. It gets to Monday and then it's telling me to pull up at McDonald's and have a fucking
I think
breakfast.
talking about plans, I think people think that when you've got a plan, that's it. You've got to stick to that plan forever.
No.
But like you say, it's about making it to suit that person, that individual, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And that's what coaching's for. If anybody wants a plan, ChatGPT, just get yourself a plan. You could even tell it to give you a plan what fucking changes along the way. But it doesn't give you that human feel. It can't relate back to you. It can't tell you that I know what you probably could because they're that clever these days. But a plan isn't meant to be rigid. It's meant to bend along the way. What's good for you in week 1 isn't necessarily good for you in week 3 when you fucking auntie's died or so all your circumstances change. It needs to change to suit your life along the way. There's always things that crop up.
Yeah, of course.
And obviously people just think that you start one plan. And a lot of people, where they go wrong, they'll start like I used to. They'll not be on a diet. They'll be eating shit, multiple takeaways a day. Sometimes I used to, with bags of sweets, crisp and chocolate in between. I used to be really bad. It wouldn't be unusual for me to wake up, working away, stop off at McDonald's in the morning, get a big double sausage, bacon and egg McMuffin with 3 hash browns and big Coke and then a cookie and then a drink and then go to Chippy for dinner time at work, then order a takeaway at night, go to shopping between with bags of sweets, chocolate and crisp and stuff, and then have a takeaway, like literally working away or living out of Greg's multiple times a day. But you just have to develop these new habits. What we're getting on with here?
Just about sustainable plans.
Yeah.
People think they can just have that one.
Right, yeah, what are we getting at? So people will eat like that and then they'll have the last final takeaway on weekend thinking, right, Monday I'm starting diet. So they're going from eating 3,000, 4,000 calories a day or whatever, and then Monday, boom, straight down to 2,000. They've axed their calories 2,000 overnight. Their body, all right, at first Monday, they're feeling motivated. They're set off out of the block. I'm doing it this time round, like I did many times. But then it gets to Wednesday, and then all of a sudden that motivation's disappearing. Diet fatigue's increasing because your body's gone from eating 4,000 or 3,500 calories a day to 2,000. It's a big shock on system.
Yeah.
So the best sustainable way for people to do it is to be honest with themselves. Do a diet diary. Write down everything that they eat in a day for a few days. But be very honest, because a lot of people, when they do these diet diaries, they can subconsciously start eating better than what they did and stuff like that. So it isn't true. It isn't accurate. You've got to be very honest. If you eat 4 Mars bars and a takeaway, write it all down. Then work out roughly how many calories you're eating over 3-4 days. Divide it by 4 days. And then that's your starting point. If you want to make it sustainable and you're somebody who constantly fails on a plan, then you have to work out your average and then start decreasing it from there. What a lot of people tend to do, they'll go online, they'll work it out from a formula, but that doesn't take into account what your current eating habits have been. So everyone's different. Everybody's different. So that'll work it out by a maths formula, tell you to eat 1,800 calories when you've been eating 4,000, and then you're going to stick it a few days and then fall off. So the best sustainable way for people to do it is work out roughly what they've been eating, do a diet diary, and then gradually decrease it, slow and steady. This works better for 2 reasons. One, you've got a lot of ammunition in the bag, because the body's regulatory systems have developed over time to slow down when you're losing weight, so it'll store. So what you do to counteract that is shock the system again, lower your food down, move that dial. So you've got a lot more ammunition in the bag to use along the way. And it also makes it sustainable, so it ain't a massive shock on the system. You're not axing your calories by 2,000 overnight, and then diet fatigue's increasing where you can't sustain it for any longer than 3-4 days.
Well, you've got an app to help with that as well, haven't you, for all your clients?
Yeah, I try and make it system. Like, even when people, I'll work with my clients more than a lot of people will. Like, I'm lifestyle, so I understand, and I've had it before. They're like, my clients are like, how do you know? How can you tell them? Like, I've been exactly where you are. I'm not like, I feel every emotion that they've been through.
Yeah.
The doubt, the lack of belief. Like, I've been through it all. I've been through that position and that period in life on a transformation where you question whether or not you can actually do this.
Yeah.
So I know everything that they go through. I've been through the binge eating. I've been through like making me client, like I did it earlier on with my client. He messaged me. I've done a check-in, and I'm like, I've let me say, I'm like, mate, you've smashed it for 36 weeks. You've been on plan. It's Easter. You've had a few eggs and you've had a treat, man. So fucking what?
Exactly.
Get straight back on plan. And he messaged me after saying, mate, I fucking needed that, pal. I've been kicking myself. I said, no. If you're gonna treat yourself, live by it, or don't treat yourself if you're gonna beat yourself up about it. I used to do the exact same thing. I probably said it on the last podcast. Like, I'd put myself on a strict diet, and then I'd eat something, and then I'd feel shit. I'm like, fucking, why am I feeling shit? Like, really beat myself up for it. And then I was like thinking, hold on, I'm fucking telling myself to have that treat. I'm having that treat, and then I'm beating myself up for it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like a little bit of guilt. I'd make myself feel like I've really let myself down. Like, all my gains have gone. I'm proper, like, I'm useless. I've fucking wasted last week. All my gains have gone. But then I just got to a point where I can't keep doing that.
No.
I either stop doing it and stop making myself feel like that, or when I do it, just own it. And it is what it is. Move on with it.
Yeah.
So that's what I do now. Like, when we'll have something every now and again, and you'll be like, oh, I said, don't bother. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it is what it is.
Yeah.
So you just got to make it sustainable. Understand if you're a lifestyle client and you're not training to be a competitive bodybuilder, that it's okay to have a treat every now and again.
Yeah.
If that makes you stick to it for forever, having occasional Mars bar or whatever, then it's fine.
Yeah, that's it.
But no, for some people and all, this is what I used to be like. I could never just treat myself to like one biscuit.
I know.
So sometimes it will worth me just staying away from them. Do you know what I mean? Because I couldn't just have a little treat or either all or nothing, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'd set myself off and it would like my taste buds like, yeah, let's just have some more, like, and go mad. So now I just, over time, learned how to just have the odd treat, and like, even if I go out and have a cheat meal, I come back and still have my Greek yogurt and stuff, like. Whereas before I would have gone out and had a big cheat meal, then big ice cream sundae, and then all shit. But everything, the all or nothing mindset. A lot of people tend to eat one bad meal and then think it's all out at window, but it's the wrong way of thinking about it. That's what I'm trying to help my clients do. Exactly what I've done today with me client Gary. Told him, just get straight back on plan.
Yeah, that's it.
Move forward.
Yeah.
Sustainable, not unattainable. That's what it's got to be, and that's what people tend to do wrong, and that's why a lot of people fail.
Yeah.
Putting this in on unrealistic plans.
Right, next question. So you've talked about training going from something that you had to do to something that you get to do. When did that mindset switch?
Same with the suffer like when I were on about when you're on your road to transformation or at a transformation and you start questioning whether or not you're actually enjoying it. Is it all worth it? You realise when you get back that fucking hell, of course it was worth it.
Yeah.
Because I do help to do that now. And a lot of time we'll always fall off plan, put loads of weight on, and we get it in his head that we're a lot further away from his desired goal than we actually think we are. A lot of people, I see people and think they could be in phenomenal shape in 3 months' time. 3 months now. 3 months' time. 90 days of pure dedication. Steps every single day. Sticking to your plan. Sticking to your training. 90 days. That last, when I first transformed last year, I put a post on kebabs to abs in 100 days. And I got in phenomenal shape. Don't get me wrong, I do go like David Goggins and that when I've done it, and people might not be able to get the transformation that I did. I was training twice a day, 3 times a day and stuff like that, but even not getting the results that I did, you can still really transform. A lot of people, they'll start a plan, they'll get away and oh no, what's happening? I think I put a post on like 596 days and nothing's happening of me start to finish last a few weeks ago. Because I have a lot of clients and they say nothing's happening.
Yeah.
And that's when everything does happen on all the days that nothing happens.
Yeah.
It happens slowly but surely. If you slowly just keep chipping away, you see yourself every day as well. Like everybody does, so you don't see it.
Yeah.
And I always say consistency looks like nothing is happening until everything fucking changes.
Yeah.
And it's true. It just creeps up out of nowhere.
They've got to put work in, haven't they? You can only
Yeah.
help them if they.
You got to
if they
put work in. And then answer to the question on when did it become something that you get to do rather than something you had to do is when this time round, and I told myself that I'm never falling off it again. And I've just done it for long enough now. It's like my medication. It's what I need to do. Do something for long enough, it becomes the new norm.
I crave that feeling now. You know, when
Yeah.
you get home from gym, you feel great, don't you?
I get there at 5 o'clock in the morning. One, because it sets me up for the day. Two, obviously, because I'm busy and I need to get back to work. And I love it. It's no like chore to me. It's a choice, not a chore. I always say that. I said it on last time. There's people out there who would love to train.
Yeah.
There's a person who was seeing Jim. He's got one leg and he's in there, and I just think I find it inspirational. Like,
yeah, definitely.
there's people making excuses and stuff, and then there's people missing limbs what are training and stuff. Just use it as motivation.
Yeah.
There's always time and a way for something that you really want. That's what I always say, for something that you really want. And for me now, the alternative, going back to being a shadow of myself and not feeling like I'm reaching that full capability. I know what I need to do to make myself feel like I feel now, and it's to keep moving at speed and keep myself busy, having that goal to work towards, having something to focus on.
Yeah.
We are the sculpture and the stone, so we are in charge of what we create for ourselves. Like, we really are.
Yeah.
I always used to like obsess about the desired goal, and it used to get. And I said to my clients, I'm like, it's like I said, stop desired goal watching.
Yeah.
And I always do my comparison to clock watching at work. If you're at work and you're wanting to finish work and you're constantly looking at your watch, looking at time, that day drags.
Yeah.
It fucking drags. The minutes feel like hours.
Yeah.
And that's same when you desired goal watching. When you're constantly, don't get me wrong, you have to do your daily habits and do your daily weigh-ins and stuff.
Yeah.
But try not to take too much notice of it. Put your data in and just have trust in the process and stick to the plan. And have that blind faith that things will work out. Because people get themselves too worked up. The desired goal what's too much where it feels like it slows the journey down. And then I feel like they get themselves stressed. And by getting themselves stressed, the cortisol levels are spiking up. And then that can make them hold more weight. And it's just not good for transformation. Somebody who enjoys the journey is going to get a lot further than somebody who enjoys just the destination. Like, just got to enjoy every day and see it as part of who you are. It's a lifestyle. You never got to 17, 18, 19, 20 stone in 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks or a couple of months. And that's the same for losing it.
Yeah, 100%.
It's just the same for losing it. It's just as easy. Well, it's not as easy, but the same process. You're in a deficit, you'll lose it. It's just a lot easier to eat food and that. You don't have to put any hard work in for it.
Yeah.
But when you do reach your desired goal, it's all a lot more sweeter, and you've earned it, and you finally get there, and you look back and you think, I've done this.
Yeah.
It's a very good feeling. I do believe people who want to change can change. People just you've just got to want it enough.
Definitely.
Just got to want it enough. People who aren't willing to reorientate their shit to make what they want to happen, they don't want it enough. People think they do, but if you do, you will change shit around to make it happen. People want to transform, but they're not willing to knock beer on head on weekend.
Yeah.
You'll always get what you always got if you always do what you always did.
Definitely.
So this time round, I love it. And I can't ever see myself falling off it. I don't get me wrong, there's still periods of my time where I go to the gym and it's just a little bit like, but I still do it. A little bit of something's better than nothing I've known.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
So you mentioned being a dad a lot.
Yeah.
How much of your drive to change was about your son, and what did you want him to take from watching this?
Drive for change because of my son. I'd say it's the number one driving factor behind everything, really. Obviously, we do things for ourselves, but for my son, I want to be successful. I want to be somebody who my son looks up to and thinks I'm proud.
Oh,
He's just a mini me. He's like,
yes.
and that might not have been the case if I'd carried on the way I was. I was lazy, I'd come back, I'd be rough, I'd be laid on the sofa, I wouldn't have time to play with him. And don't get me wrong, I'm making a lot of sacrifices now, but he will understand when he gets older the hard work, the dedication, and the commitment that I put in. I regularly speak to him,
Yeah, you
like I
do.
do odd podcast and that, and talk to him, but I have conversations like that without cameras and talk to him and have real, because I do believe what I'm doing now is directly having a massive impact on how he'll become when he's older. I do believe observational learning, they become a product of their environment. You
Yeah.
see a lot. You see a lot of time. You see fat people have like fat kids and stuff, and they say it's like the genes and stuff. It's not. It's not. Like
Yeah.
they're becoming a product of their environment. And my son could have been like that, and I won't want that. I want him to be just as good as me. I think this should be every father's fucking goal in life. Nobody, there's only one man in your life who wants you to ever be better than him, and it's your dad, and I want
Yeah.
my son. That's
Yeah.
it's a quote I see all the time, but I do, and I
And he does
genuinely.
understand, doesn't he? I
Oh,
mean,
he
he's so
does.
clever.
Yeah. Well, he's 7 and he knows near enough
Yeah.
every bone, not every bone, near enough all his majority of his muscles, all his bones, and he puts the time in. And I ask him and stuff. I ask him see if he wants me to quit my job and stuff. Cause although I work at home, and I've said this before, a lot of people don't understand that the hours that you put in with these
Yeah.
PTing and stuff. I'm home, but I'm not always the most present. But I will make sure I am. I've got to make the time. But to get something you've never had, you need to do things you've never done. I do find that balance where I have had to sacrifice some time, but just make sure that the quality is good with my son.
Yeah. I think
And
it's
it is
only
one of my goals that
natural.
I need to do. Like, I think I'd be lying if I said most PTs we're bad on his phone and stuff. Do you know what I mean? We've all evolved. We've got to be on his phone. That's a goal of mine, and to put it down. I try and put it down at 6. I've had to put like no reply times on, stuff like that, just so it gives me that peace of mind, and it
Yeah.
don't make me clients. Because if I before I had them automatic,
Messages.
messages
Yeah.
going out to my clients, if I seen a message, I'd feel like I were ignoring. I need to reply.
Yeah.
But now it just gives me that little bit of downtime where I can sit and think, have some time with my son, and not
Yeah.
feel like I'm ignoring my clients.
Yeah, exactly.
So I just want to do more for everybody, and that just gives me that peace of mind. But Archie is my number one. He's like my power bank. I always call him my power bank. He recharges me. Like, you put your phone on charge, I give my son like a cuddle, and he just like powers me up.
Oh. I think it's only natural as well as a parent. You get that dad guilt, mum guilt, that you never feel like you're doing enough. I think every parent could relate to that, but he understands, doesn't he, that you work really hard and you've
Yeah,
got a really good relationship with him, haven't you?
yeah, brilliant. He always wants to be. He does understand. Um, but I feel like he does understand. But I think he'll more so understand as he gets older. Like,
Yeah.
the dedication, the commitment, and everything that I'm doing. I talk to him like I'm installing discipline into him at a young age. When he's here, he don't play no iPads.
No, he
He don't
don't.
play no
No.
phone.
And he don't ask.
No, he doesn't ask because he
No.
knows. Don't get me wrong, I'll let him have little bits, but I firmly believe that these iPads are completely ruining and mashing people's brains up. You see them just scrolling and that. It's because they're getting that constant dopamine hit. So now playing outside, we used to be out playing dens and making
Yeah.
dens and playing football and playing Kirby and being out playing manhunt and stuff like that. He's a bit young for that, but them times are gone. Don't get me wrong, I'm still going to let him have a little bit of phone time and stuff, but it's mashing the brain, and I don't agree with it. If you look at any top all owners of Facebook, all of them, they don't let the kids and that play it because they know what it does. These are owners are like Microsoft and all of them. I seen a video. We all top people in the world, but don't let the kids and that play on iPads and stuff. Majority, I know.
Yeah.
The owners of it all, of all the technology,
Yeah.
because they know what it's doing.
Yeah.
All these algorithms with all this colour, what's like just sending shag to you. Usually all talking like American a lot. It's weird.
I know.
So I just like to lead by example, show him how he should be and build discipline. That's what we're on about. He doesn't have his iPad and that yet. I get him up in the morning and I say, what's rule number 1? He's like, make your bed. What's rule number 2? He gets in the shower. Rule number 3, he brushes his teeth. And I just keep putting these little things, and he comes down and he does his own little chores and stuff. Because even getting him to make a bed from a young age will mature him into a good adult. By the time when he's a kid, I want him doing all these things. I want him to want to do them.
Yeah,
That's
definitely.
one of the first things that any successful person should be doing is like making the bed and stuff. Do you know what I mean? It's just basic stuff like that. Making the bed, doing the chores, keeping them off them iPads. That's it. I can't stand them, me.
I know.
Sometimes I let him on the computer and put them on like bite size, like little maths games and stuff like that. But at least he's getting some stuff from it.
Yeah. I likes it, don't I?
Yeah.
So next question. Where are you now? And when you look at the person you were at your lowest compared to who's sat here today, what has genuinely changed beyond the physical?
Who am I now compared to what I was?
Yeah.
I'm a completely different person. I really am. I've had to kill the old version of me off because I won't be where I am now. That's what a lot of people do and all wrong when they're on the way to transformation. They'll try and get to the new them, dragging the old them along with them. You have to sometimes create a new identity, because I was fat. I was Connor, and I just loved eating takeaways and going out and getting on session. So I had to become somebody else. And I always said to my clients, you have to start thinking like the person who you want to become now, not when you get to that person.
Yeah.
Start thinking and acting like the person who you want to be. Don't wait until you become that person to start acting like that person. So I'm somebody now who could probably have helped the old me out. Like, I'm helping people out, and I've been in that space, and I've just completely transformed my life. I have been like suicidal at times, depressed, anxiety, like a lot of people. I don't do it to claim sympathy and stuff like that, because there's always a lot of people worse off. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But I have been that position where I genuinely felt like I was never going to get out of it. Always unhappy, depressed, and just constantly had that negative mindset where the world were against me and nothing were going right. Even though at the time it was like people still in my position that I were in would have killed to be in that position. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We were never good enough, and I was never satisfied, and I always felt shit and never felt like I was happy and content. Do you know? But now I do. I feel happy. I feel successful, and I don't like judge success on how much money you've got and stuff now and stuff like that. You know what I mean? I feel success is how happy and content you are.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
used to be a person what think success was measured on how much money you had and stuff, but it's not. And I'm just a changed man, really am. But very grateful for all the times that I have had, because it's made me who I am now. The good, the bad, it all makes us who we are today. And it really does, and I'm grateful for it. All the bad times, because without the bad times, there won't be the good times.
Yeah, definitely.
And it all puts us like where we are today, like. It's just crazy, because I would have never ever foreseen myself being where I am now. Turning Christmas lights on, going into Manor School. I've got another school to go in. I'm doing community runs.
I know.
Community walks. I'm getting people to change their lives genuinely. Like, I really am.
Yeah.
People who want it and willing and put the work in. I'm changing lives. I've got messages. Like, I never used to believe in myself as much as I believe in myself now, but I do now.
Yeah.
It takes a little bit of time. You like compare yourself. Comparison's the thief of joy. And I used to compare and constantly feel like I'm good enough, but I am good enough. Everyone's good enough.
Yeah.
And you've just got to be in your own lane and understand how far you've come, and take a step back, show some appreciation, and look what's going off around you. And then when you look on the grand scheme of things, it's not always as bad as what you think it is. The situation that you think you're in ain't always as bad. And you can change it. You can change it. Your reality, you can change it. And it all starts with the mindset, thinking positive.
Yeah.
It really is. Think negative things will happen. Same. Think positive. It doesn't always happen straight away, but you're more likely to start getting positive things to happen.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm just a different person, completely transformed my life physically and mentally. I've never felt so happy and content. Don't get me wrong, I still have down days, but I don't have depressed days.
Yeah.
You've never met that person who I once were. Like, you really haven't. You've seen me have a few down days, but I haven't been depressed, where I were horrible to be. I just wanted to be on my sen. There was nothing I could do. I couldn't put my finger on it, and it was. I can put my finger on it now because I was never working towards a goal. So I
Yeah.
felt like I was just stationary, stuck.
Yeah.
I'm fucking fed up. I'm fucking sick of this. I'm sick of this. It's fucking wank and this, and that's the attitude. But I'm positive now. I love every single day. My weeks are flying.
Yeah.
My weeks are absolutely flying.
Mm.
It don't matter if it's Monday or Friday.
Mm.
Probably my best day of the week now is Monday. I used to dread Monday. It don't matter what day it is. Monday's probably favourite. New week, new goals.
We say every day, don't we? What day is it today?
Yeah.
Like, can't
It's
believe
just
it's
like
Thursday
that.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like, Wednesday tomorrow.
Absolutely flies. And that's when you know when you're doing something that you enjoy. When
Oh,
your
yeah.
time flies.
Yeah.
When you're on holiday and it goes like that, it's because you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah.
I've had plenty times in my life where I've been in a job that I fucking hated and the weeks dragged. You know what I mean? Like we all have. And I know it's probably rich coming from me now because not many people are fortunate enough to find a job what they love.
Mm.
And I know it's not, well, I do believe it's always possible. Like it was for me. Do you know what I mean?
You've done this. You've built it.
I'm not one of these what I'm going to say you can achieve anything you put your mind to. But if you put your mind to it and try, you'll be a hell of a lot closer than what you are if you don't try. Aim for the moon, and if you missed, you land amongst the starlight. Keep trying. You might not get fully to your goal, but if you try, you're going to get somewhat closer to it than if you don't try.
Yeah.
Because if you never try, you'll never know. And that's worse than trying and failing.
Yeah.
At least if you try, and you really try, not just a little bit, like try and go for it, and you're like, I tried, it's not for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
You just got to give it a go. What's worse can happen? You can fail, and then you try something else, don't you?
So you're writing an autobiography, which we've already spoke about on last episode, haven't we?
Yeah.
And building CW coaching at the same time. What does the next chapter actually look like, and how big is the vision?
The vision. The autobiography will be done at the end of this year. If I'm completely honest, I've been very busy and I haven't been putting as much time in on it, as much time into the autobiography over the last month. But it's a goal, it's on my list, and it will be done by end of year. I'm about 70,000 words into it. It'll probably be about 80 to 90,000 standard autobiography. But just keeps getting longer and longer. There's that many good stories in it. But that'll be done by end of year. I'm loving doing it. I just need to get a few things sorted and then get back onto finishing that. And the vision for the book is just to have it. Well, I don't know if this is a question, but to have an hardback copy, a couple to sit on this bookshelf. See if anyone wants it. If they want it, we'll see. Get a few copies printed out. I mainly, like I said, started to do it. I'm not claiming or thinking I'm going to be a #1 seller out like that, but I will put it up for sale if anyone wanted it. There's a few people that ask me, believe it or not. Have a copy for my son, for my dad, for my closest, nearest and dearest. And then the vision for CW Coaching, I want to give back, keep growing, build, expand. And not just as a profitable business, just a company that gives back. Like I've said, me personally as a company, me and my clients just recently, and yourself, sponsored a local football team, and it was brilliant. I was going to do it myself, but I put it toward my clients, and I think I don't want to take full responsibility for it. I want to be able to say, CW Coaching and its current clients have donated.
Yeah.
We've done this. Not just me.
It's amazing.
Because it's more than just me, this company, it's everybody. They all thank me, but I thank them. On the check-ins, all like, thank you so much. I'm like, thank you so much. I wake up and I'm fortunate enough to do a job that I'm passionate about every single day that I absolutely buzz to wake up and do.
Yeah.
I work for you. People say sorry to me. I'm like, what are you saying sorry for? I work for you. Like, you pay me wages. And that's what a lot of coaches misunderstand.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm different. Like, I appreciate anybody. Every single one of my clients. I do. All one-to-one communication. I tell them if it's bad, ring me. I bet there's a lot of people out there what would feel awkward ringing the coach. They'd feel like they couldn't. I don't want my clients to feel awkward if they need to ring me. Not all the time, don't get me wrong, but I tell them.
Yeah.
If you're struggling or you need an answer, don't hesitate to ring me. It's completely fine. I tell them that on induction, like, some people need answers.
But they end up becoming your friends, I've noticed as well, because they get that good of a relationship with you. It's lovely, isn't it?
Oh, big time. I've never had so many gifts. I was a bit, when it first started, I've had trainers, I've had flowers, I've had champagne, I haven't been drinking. What was I saying? Aftershave,
Yeah.
jumpers,
Yeah.
t-shirts, everything. Like,
Yeah.
I've never felt so, like, appreciated.
Yeah.
All I can,
You're
that's
really
what I'm doing. But
respected, aren't you?
obviously, I'm doing something right. Like,
But you are changing people's lives.
yeah,
And
people
they're forever
sometimes,
grateful.
you'll always get negative people, like the trolls, the people who are negative naysayers and have no good to say. Will be like, but I've got messages. I've had messages. I've had conversations with people who have had counselling for years. What I've tried and tried and tried. What I've been low as fuck. Signed up with other coaches. Come with me, succeeded. Not just physically, like mentally. Some people just sign up because they're stuck and they don't know what to do or don't know what to turn to. They want to get out of this bad, dark place. They haven't even necessarily got a goal on losing weight or building muscle. They just want to feel okay.
Yeah.
And I've helped people like what have been really low and like suicidal and just feeling depressed. And it's through my content, and I never intentionally did it, but I'm having a powerful impact on helping people out who can
You
relate to
are.
my story.
Yeah.
I went from 1,000 followers on TikTok to 12,000 in like a month and a half.
I know.
I'm having people message me daily saying that I'm helping change their life. Like, thank you so much. You don't understand what your videos and your content are doing.
Yeah.
I'm showing them my boy's going down the wrong path and stuff. People are messaging me asking see if we can have a word with the kids and stuff like that.
I
Like,
know.
unfortunately, I ain't got enough time to do that. But hopefully, if they see my content, and
Yeah.
in future, like I've said, CW coaching, I want to open like a kids boxing gym and stuff eventually. Not as a profitable business either.
Yeah. Just.
I'd love to open it as a charity
Yeah.
where it covers the bills and maybe somebody's got to earn money from it, but not me. I'm not bothered about earning money. It's very hard to earn money from a boxing gym.
Yeah.
So I'd love to finally, hopefully, if anybody ever finds a place or any investors or somebody else with a big heart and has the same vision as me from Maltby, whoever had any property or something what could like potentially get it at like a reasonable price and stuff,
Yeah.
and get some volunteers and get people and get the community to come together to make it happen, because I think that's what Maltby's missing, like a kids gym. When we were younger, we had what do you call them? Community centres, and that is what we
Yeah.
call them.
Yeah.
We used to go to them. We had Edward Dunn, Jane Winfrey, Mark, all used to look after us. So we had things to go to, but kids and funding has all been cut. They ain't got none of that now.
I know.
They ain't got no kids boxing gyms. And I think boxing and all these sports teaches them discipline and stuff.
Yeah, it does.
Because where kids are going now with all this like stabbing and shit like that, it's just going down the wrong path.
I know.
So they need to be encouraged to be put into sports. And have something to get them off the street, something to focus on.
Yeah.
And that's a vision of CW coaching.
Yeah.
I'd love to make it happen, and I think I will make it happen. I think if you put your mind to something, you can make it happen, and I will. Dream, believe, achieve.
100%. Last question. What is the one thing that you want someone to take away from the first 3 episodes before this show moves into its next chapter?
Just that anybody can change. You really can. I'm not saying you can 100% reach your, like, you've got to set yourself realistic goals, smart goals, specific.
Yeah.
Measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-based. Set these little goals, medium goals, big goals, and work towards them. And to get what you want, you have to reorientate your shit. You need to sometimes take things away to get what you want. And when you take something away, you have to fill that void with something good.
Yeah.
Too many people try and remove a bad habit, but don't put out in its place. So there's a void that needs filling.
Yeah.
You need to put something in that place. Take away sessioning, add in training. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go out walking. Get that dopamine hit from something else instead of going out. And just if anybody needs help, anyone wants a conversation, then drop me a message. We can have a chat. Not even no obligation to sign up or anything.
Yeah.
People can just book a call. We'll see where you're at and see where you want to get to and see what the plan could look like for you, because I genuinely believe that if you want it enough and you reorientate your shit, you can make what you want to happen 100%. So if you've liked the 3 first episodes, we're going to start getting into more specific things, mindset, discipline, and a lot more other things, then stay tuned. But if you do watch these videos, then if I could just please ask that you like and subscribe and show some love, comments. It all helps me build this platform up.